malmasaula Senator Salvador Talam sa teal ertiel Debel Belau lugukno sa beedel ngua Ssg Nobuo West el ngia soldar el altay mo retire el almel July makadamle invite ngir el alsilsil ngadi mel emraira kotalurior kadamle invite ngir el alsilsil gukme share igel experience ngi em milgraw ul mangle decide mo soldaw gidam dingel wase tamlamo over a email dart tel ngalget amlamo soldaw ngaringia ar soldal guk tirgam lartial milla test raigal tigal ngalget ngara high school matigel interest el malarsele ASVAP test el hindi halpulgula se kamo soldaw gora dio mesel wase kapase kagirel ger malsugo mang decide el wasing ti arangalge da sorin mo soldaw en sabaril enlist mang malungid silsel mergid el ang 0424 April 4 2024 malmasaw radio sertial malungid sils kung masa Ssg Nobuo West low ay sergid el waseng gang buigerger engalgel taang emlara skurager el ang station erger raw eral retire el almel July malungid sid sen merkaw Sergeant West
malungid sid maldigo te terang asule la dios terang asule metcheni firm skakta opportunity me edong okle shiragel experience rang I do believe experience rang amal unique and I'm willing to open some young minds in Belau that whatever they want to achieve, they can achieve them. Nga Nobuo West takngaligela kyati makoichi rakatarina yak puigra butilei puigrangar along yak mlakora butilei yak mlara skura goror elementary school graduate mora Vicente High School graduate 2010 sera 2010 aknilo a test el mosoldaw dik mlefel ak mlefel maklilut no a test emloser el enlistra April 2011 seguido April 2011 ak ship out el mora basic and mora training mokera Germany mora Hawaii mora Kentucky mutel mera Hawaii yeah
ngara goramle sera fail rat test did you felt like you were just going to give up then ka give up percent time atang laringia agoram mentor gal mil nga tu gal wasim luton mo nga test
Jennifer segi del time qotam le gadi darang sel ngari aswa mo gut makli I didn't really think about how many times I failed. I just thought about like I want to do this, so I'm gonna do it.
Get it done.
Yeah, get it done. It didn't matter how my test score is. It just mattered that I'm gonna try and build a life out there before coming back to Belau.
Wow, that's awesome. Kuget yang Sergeant Leng cloud to taleleng blool el ang diomsin darangal katamlamom itu tarangut men swada ngal gal boloring sertiang o mesernir el ang mauriul lesatial story rakawe polsop el inspire til wase ndi gal bulgol wase obom mage ma obom rep ma fail this is the end of it. Swada lo titil wase kautial wase kamle fail testa 2010 and digel kangilura 2011 kautial ma-retire. Mang kamal masaw lel share segit akum da sea direct kamal cloud to talele kam tingel wase sel da magegare lom gror git et dio ngoro ergi de dimel go club el ngud clo negative then positive.
Yeah.
So aku maral wase tiagi del story ka mal sab elmo inspire tigay git el ngalget.
Yeah. Dindira kaldi moyo ra as kwase like umsual mutel mo ndia like ndaga other mo control situation ring ma decision ring il mutel mo but ngungit sa lutel mo sumum la fail lam la smu baigel el failure el lessons el martel failure ring and to be honest like I've lost count of how many times I failed in life and I'm still failing and I don't necessarily care. I just, as long if I fail, it's at my expense. Yeah, and then I do fulfill what I want to do in life.
Malungil la kumisar ka mal discipline nga niya vision ka nga niya goals ma plans I'm sure kal amla decide that 10 years from now kamlam garang emla decide lo se kagirel ger. Why say?
Yes. So the 10 years from now, the reason why the army, I wanted to focus on building my own wealth. I'm a future farmer. Because who wouldn't want to grow their own food and have free food on the table? Serak mira lastir akmal misaklol teal السألني دي الأذى موسر سمر طاق program مع أقمنا بقلتام الغميس المع Department of Agriculture اللوغير لندق وذنجي نشغل اللوغير المم ذنجي مثل بقر لي اسو مقفل أقموت اللوغير على أذى الملا قطرورني and then accomplish that. My 10-year plan is just to live comfortably and to be happy.
Don't be a problem to society.
Yes. Yeah. If I can help an individual, then of course I will lend the help, even in any circumstances that I'm in.
What kamil gara decide wasing swamel mo soldaw emil gara decide wase ako Mr. Sel awarding arkang lara Facebook jungle instructor.
Yes. Selmle rulamak mo sokan mo soldaw selbe qatam Easter soldaw maybe sitter Belau qutal admire them and idolize them in a way that seldom mesertit tamal qalt mokla. I wanted to be that person, put myself in that situation. Even though I'm willing to share all of my failures, that's how you get there.
I see.
Mo independent, الممدول take care of, or about take care of. Serak enlist, I wanted to build using the resources from the army to build a foundation of my life and who I'm going to be in the future. And I'm so thankful and grateful for it because it gave me so much opportunities, gave me the opportunity to meet a lot of people in different areas, to experience poverty in different countries like Afghanistan, Philippines. Mong open out the shop, I may think that I have nothing, but I do have everything. I have a roof over my head and then food on the table. So, the traveling portion really opened me, and talking to a lot of people, asking the right questions, even if it's considered a stupid question, I would still ask it because and I'm not gonna let that opportunity slip away. So asking other they're more than willing to tell me, so I don't go through that mistake again.
So it sounds like the military built your character and disciplined you very well.
Yes, I do have I build it so much as well as discipline, but it's still a work in progress because I don't want to get too comfortable in one spot. That means I'm static in one area. I'm always willing to ask different people. Tell them agriculture. Ak mga titanim 3 hours sa luwang titanim makaiga ka mo na 2,000 there, Lang and nobody knows me and nobody's willing to help if I don't ask for that help and that information. So yes, the army was a big part of me, and I'm and Jesus too, God and Jesus too. It's a huge part of my peace and calm as of today. A couple months ago I found it.
Amen. Did you ever struggle in the military? Do you guys go through phases or stages in the military?
Yes, because like Salvangar Belau, they're surrounded by our family. Instead of the more neighbor kita, kasi nakamugta so sa ngul,
No spare.
ospe aningir telo timek like esrak por army hindi ka ngaring say then ding it was a big transition because you okokora madak taloger ar av like el muspe. But throughout the time you consider them as your brothers and sisters. So yes, like I definitely thank everybody that was a part of my growth, the army.
So when you enlisted in the army, did you automatically become enlisted into the jungle? Or can you take us on, so when you enlisted, how did you get into this jungle, group?
Yeah. Okay,
And
so
eventually became an instructor.
yeah, so when I start off, I was a, private, the E1. I started my career in Germany. I spent 3 years there, and I deployed once to Afghanistan. And then I came to Hawaii, and then I got promoted to be a sergeant. It took me a while because I kind of like enjoy life a little bit. So I stalled my promotion. Masaya drabok ifa bra ikale ifa mo sergeant trak mara Hawaii. It only took me a year to be the next rank. And I only spent 18 to 19 months in Kentucky at Fort Campbell. And then I re-enlisted for a duty station. So they assigned me to Hawaii again. Sarakpong, I was part of the Brigade Asset Reconnaissance Team. So we work in a really small team. But the slots were so filled because of my toar adel E6. So they offered me the platoon sergeant job and the jungle operations training course instructor. I wanted to go deep into the unknown. I wanted to go see what I'm made of. So I did. When they gave me the opportunity, I took it. Yeah.
Jungle.
Yeah. So I moved to Moira, Elsela Wahiwa, East Range training area, and then I was exposed to the jungle. And then from there, like kasi mal after abur then I get more kasi like already mo jungle qualified. Matat mo kasi insamal mo sa next week, and I have nothing with me. So what I did, I sacrificed my time and effort in order to prepare myself for that moment. So it only took me a week to prepare, like considering it was tough that time, but I managed to go through and graduate. Yeah. Once I graduate, I start getting certified. More instructors say. So 32 classes. Among 32 classes, I get them certified. It was difficult because it's so out of the unknown. Like mal tapiga mal bro. Semdo sa jungle realm, fire, arm, my plans, and your survival and whatever's presented to you. So it took me a while to like get integrated into the level that my mentors were at. And less than a year, I was picked to be instructor of the cycle. And it took a lot of work. It took a lot of failure. Ako ta class na ako ba imak, in front of my students, which completely loses my credibility. But like, you know what? Let me just swallow it and push through. And I'm so thankful that my peers and mentors gave me, chances because they saw the potential in me. because I had so much value to bring to the table. Cell position, I served it for 4 years. So 4 years, I trained over between 4,000 to 5,000 people. And from the lowest ranking personnel to the highest ranking personnel to conduct jungle brief or survival brief to congresswomen and senators and congressmen and like high officials from different army. But throughout the course, every time I do a course, there's always a critique, end of course critique. So, selbon merk tra student the critique our course, my instructors. And like the first few, I was humble because said pride my ego it masked a great instructor I am. So by reading those criticism and critics from other people, I was able to grow as a person. It was hard. Like I had one person tell me that in my 25 years of career, Sergeant West is the worst instructor I've ever come across. And, I got a lot of jokes about it, for 3 months, but like, do I want to fall back or do I want to push forward? And it all, when I push forward and develop as a person, develop as an instructor and a human being, that was a big part of my growth and made me more valuable in that course than ever before. So it was hard for them to let me go. But I'm just so grateful that it was an opportunity that I wasn't ready, but I prepared myself for the opportunity.
So what was your experience? Ngoram le wangara feeling ar kausera gotel so yisebra tokora areyom.
Nettalgi بالبياض تلين لقيت الأذر بلا مل ميلرا أوريوم everything is in the jungle. So dimla mring la transition dimle how can I put together the tactical experience matiagi del jungle the jungle environment, and what are some of the ways to make it convenient or make your mission better, because I had no experience at all. But throughout the time I gained experience by traveling to different countries in the world and training with a lot of high level individuals from different country, learn from different other instructors and see what type of grit they have in order to train soldiers.
So what kind of animals or species did you encounter while seroom ngara al salarium goram le encounter a baby arma lion tiger
so sayidra angara US Army, like United States in general, has so many laws and policies to prevent animal dispatching. But they finally got it approved, and we were able to dispatch certain type of animals to present to the class, because in survival you at least need to know like how to dispatch an animal, like ngigila, sembrulangil or malaga. The alu lagi tam represent tamal leng universal sumaka kagut maklamal kan sem kagut maklangi dil armas suelo leng ngosisiwa pa di parts ringi and the way they are. Sige drak pora ole segim tren en perso cobra sama makaming mamal madaedo. Serak pora French Guyana in South America, aki naigile ko na close species rabiap ma anacondas, ma caimans. We were exposed to jaguars, but we didn't eat them, you know. It comes to find out that our friends Guyana, they go hunt for the food for the soldiers. Yeah, so it was just a different type of level of, you know, schoolhouse out there.
So they provide value.
Yeah, tamle provide akalam. No sige del 2021 na Thanksgiving and tamlohan ta cayman, magigit del bea, mangig ra Oriom ra Amazon, magi office der sige del Thanksgiving at 2021.
Mel throughout tial career kan soldado. Ngara ko ra recommendation ka advisor ka wal sum ngayar ngalgel pelal ko ra consider mo soldado. Ngara ko ra suggestion ng recommendation ka mga regel benefits ra soldado sa iril tier maybe al sugong tamasobi le de albeil men sab irar parents are til qualify gal benefits through VA like medical and so forth. If you can share that.
So, the U.S. Army, and this goes to like Air Force, Navy, they all pretty much have the same benefits to an extent. But for Army specifically, like I've listed them all down, and it covers at least 2 pages from, you know, education benefits to medical benefits, to self-development benefits, to mental health benefits, everything. If someone would have asked me about joining the Army, I would tell them to do it. Not because like serve other country is, yes, of course, like you serve United States, but at the same time, like it builds so much character in you that when you come back home, you can apply those skills and attributes that you learned from your job. Belau one of the biggest, there's a lot. I'm going to name 2 benefits that really shines out is the educational benefits. If you're active duty military and similar tuition assistance, meaning and serve a full time al soldado, and then more a school malaklas like, but it's more accelerated. So those classes can take about 2 to 3 months versus a regular college course which takes 4 months. Sel omtob in sem los pertele GI Bill or post 9/11 el benefit ral veteran affairs sa harar tel skulem e harar at the same time.
For how long? Al hara skuli.
The last time I looked it up, it was 36 months, just enough for you to graduate with a bachelor's degree. So nga GI Bill, and then there's a VRNE called vocational rehab. That is tailored to the people with disability. If you have a disability rating over 10%, you're entitled to that voc rehab. So sem los pertal voc rehab el momarek e ospertal GI Bill ra imora degree. So there's so many, you know, vocational rehab, VRNE is like GI Bill as well. So harar school may harar housing around because they want to give you the conveniency because you've served the country and you deserve it. Everybody that raised their hand and enlist in the Army deserve 100% of their benefits. Because, you know, a lot of soldiers go through a lot, you know. I don't know if they change it, but like my CAA my CAA scholarship ra
mora school.
Yes, el fundra certification
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then there's also a lot of states that offers benefits for spouses. And then there's so many like programs in the United States that like in 1 or 2 pages the website el trial el help para spouse mang pursue a career.
Yarangal subtabi ile ungal ko.
Like in semel online class or ang alige masabel sumok serve active duty military so transfer tial GI bill mar ang aligem pass it down and there's a certain amount of time required for you to transfer that to your kid.
Wow, malungin.
Yeah, so there's so many benefits for you and your family, your spouse and your kids. Yeah, it's endless.
Madsum kam sobi le nga hindi nga your parents are kal ubang damamang dalam. Can they become your dependent?
Yes.
They can. Mo dependent terkaw.
Yes.
Alsum ko soldaw.
Yes.
Matade mo eligible ay gayi del potokal benefits.
And they're fully eligible. The partial because the trial take care ng soldaw. Of course that they have programs and there's a process and more dependent sumar talakas merang siya kung may enroll rin na system el alakad pertal medical bill at least the percel mang di ka kaya kararingi and siya kalopa talaga and still serve in the military.
Yalsum gabi ilan din nga niya damam aluban dalam alum both parents. Sab amil direct ka ruling gal parent tergal mo dependent tergal or no like gamo why sold carer ra gal parent al ubang parent tergal
and sabel ngaya process get it approved in order to like do that.
So you apply it in yamual sub to approver niya qualify.
Yeah, because they're immediate family.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Ngana sel gora mal natan gora ngara ariom la lub ka soldar sera di ga katingem enlist ko goram lo gurusi adang Kora feel was no, I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna make sure and akut maklin mo raw labong.
Yeah, man lo to. Like man mo to time man mo question like, is this what I really want to do?
What makes you at that point el mo dasul way say?
Just the conditions of the living. So for example, I remember, first gimo training ra Germany, and I just remember waking up and opening my sleeping bag, and there's snow covering around me, and it was cold.
Yeah.
Nga kakuktiak sara kalakol mang taligibel ko raming nakaka-adjust. Ding aring time kamos mari. Selbom sara living conditions why say kamusta to appreciate like small little conveniency like using like the restroom or like sleeping on your bed or othermod at least or couch but ran lo to I get time mo makaras or mututaw or tiok la mututang ul. And this is just for infantry, right? This is not for admin personnel or like, supply personnel. Or I'm just speaking from the infantry experience.
But you never gave up. Dimlaan give up.
I didn't think it was a choice. There was not in my mind like it was a choice. I just didn't think about it. I just thought about mbay mal mo maring lakmo or akpay mo ensuring akpay the embracing because like sumakti negative yung mo affect rati mga ma-affect our performance. And if we're in a battlefield and I'm still complaining, someone might die on my hands. You know, so it's just the way you look at it, your perspective on your situation. It's always going to be like there's something out there is going to be worse than your situation.
Natan tiagidel ka instructor riyom lolsis akarbe pedingirangal natan gora encounter ar adel gidem el melarti letamla muma tamla musme ral ubang aigel gora struggles ra alsela riyom el sab emel share.
Yeah, so like first few classes I start noticing like mbotokol solal adrang bar adekalo dangi atletele la orium and how you should conduct yourself ma malmuk taigal diorang ma aigel dora common for us adekalo dangi say they don't know how to control themselves, so they push themselves into the limit and try to surpass it instead of training up for it, training up for the opportunity. So most our students, they're not physically fit for it, but it's just their willingness to try it. So mlopto student like heat casualty, like tumotaworer, almost the brain failure, nga heart attack ra tele chunk 5 care mom nga ruwebtra like 30-foot cliff my makmlo extracting lova helicopter nga other mga tomosong ring le mingi baikal lalakar me mga nge mo experience diarrhea, dehydration, like malbatok, because it's our other they're not used to train, like because atel orium la it's so humid, so sa MLD dong okron sa ML nga ramo edi kasip, so yeah malbatok I give them experience ding I get that experience Ssg Malmay I implement certain procedures to eliminate the headache so we can control the chaos. So sumungmutal heart at we know what's the steps in order to save someone's life. There was a lot like other web they obep the rear or like they still melob or there or like mo mistake so malbatok
kungora as you know when el alblal kat makliya tial kofa la more sub eligible are veterans benefits sa blur Belau especially av grulen sab ilor ko taharat tigetir expensive tin morar wakwam Philippines wherever I guess they choose to go manamoklo seldoreng sengora beto karangalgel Belau PTSD sab emel goramo talgibel smoothie if you know anything regarding PTSD lengayar mula sendiak itutaw the swiral ubang angarial miles let's say they got deployed there sa makamada Afghanistan Iraq and in what way if you know wasing makarasab irar family el mo supportive helper tir.
So like PTSD is it's your own trauma. And the best, just my opinion and my suggestion is the best way to do it is seek help. And don't be afraid to seek help. Like I have issues too. So it took me a lot to admit it to myself. But once I admit it and I start seeking help, ako takno ra Jesus, Cristo ma Dios. And then next, akmlo omesa 2 therapists a week. Mang it's all starts within you. Like giram el mo open raw the swim and or ranks are others el patigan nirgaw and most of the ranks are tire and then seek other venues for help. Yeah, counseling,
psychology.
Yeah,
like
therapist, psychology, because they've talked to so many people, and they've probably have seen something, an issue that's similar to yours, that can probably help you cope with that. Hindi ka lapiot ra adrabli ng kalaf. You know, our other people I get more understand the question like he went through something that causes him to react or burst out or cannot control his emotions because there was something that they went through that it will always remind them of that day if something happens. If that makes sense.
Sab edel waseng tamlara makamade ngaringal miles mang mo affected tir matamo I say like trauma or leng you know kamadingel wase I'm sure kadire kamle experiencing diom sin derigi del other belau ito guniar saal selom goro ragi de emlang you're not allowed to express the emotions jagaw kasaal ad kaumal mo din nga makalma, you know. And so I'm asking because I want to help reach out to families who have children or siblings or parents who has PTSD. Elwase, how can we actually cope with it and how can, because let's say for instance gaw ngakal as a dalam makarabo ng elwase kamlo true rangarang return PTSD and then you're having these symptoms that you're just blowing up or you're just so to yourself makarabok pok madu el mga adu or ka mang mosab emel open up el waygel mo gol wase gidel open up share because gidel other bela ko tul korabl all dia kata in you know swadal di me makata di kautuloy dem sa ta tigirarat hindi maringar kita o mesergit. And then maringar kita omesel reach out tel mora adel. That's why Mother Teresa mlase a simple smile can save a life. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you, and it hit me this morning akwo karatuta ram u ewaklok. Ya imol boy gara Coral State Rangers yak maral otangi. Ak maral ngara ice pack sulwa kural mera al selablo inya stop. Wasik, are you okay? Makaseo o yak tayo pang soal exercise mo ututaw. Nga nga 3 dori yak all start telling it's quiet di harat. Makasendia akmal tayo beg mal mesulang inya sendia akora di check lendia hada sal lo mesrar adal exercise at 3:30 in the morning. But that's what I've been doing since I got back from the US. So the reason why I'm sharing akora ogel was kamamel let nga hanganya ang algekol soldal direk he has PTSD dahil sa elom kalal guk dahil sa elom kalal klapsing meelaw so ngora swadel mangi serka will share my parents alubang siblings sertigal PTSD asabrin mo madu el helper rangal giling like I said tiga dahil sabrin dahil dil mek mula se nga hamal traumatized ra akmil sa a partner nga alubang tiyang brigade ang company nga altartira milosiangal you know I got hit tir aluba adari ramlada ramadarir is these kind of trauma that triggers PTSD.
I think when you're in the army sel other belau like mal kadalaklok pride raw maigo raw you know sel chona army egotel meseselo you know you use that as a fuel to your pride sel when you get up to a certain position mangal it's feeding your pride and ego mong you don't want to admit your mistakes and what you're going through to kill your pride. But in return, your pride is killing your healing. So, like, other bela get nga pride ng ima igonin medio, and then give the others around rangal closest to rangal veteran. Stop being ignorant. Pay attention rangal others. What is he going through? This is just my suggestion. I'm not mental health specialist. It's just my perspective and how I look at it.
We just want you to share your experience so that way ako karada loreng sasabil help ra ngalgiral ubang baby datir.
Yeah, because I went through, and then when I finally gave myself up to Jesus Christ, when I finally asked for help and admit that this is not the person who I want to be, then I was able to make room for my growth. And tragarogul liga nga help nga build our self-esteem, because I was going through what I was going through, and just learning how to deal with your emotions and having that support from your friends and family can really make your life easier than it is. But it all starts from you. I cannot bring you to the water and make you drink the water. I can only say, hey, kaday chok. Eso maka respond na al mesada trauma, then I'm able to listen and understand. So mga nga ader al salig yang plol kurings, because they only want someone to listen. Yeah, like esel bodo doke doreng sa mal el remeng saigel el terungular mga malagoy lenda ka adal morong si makamesate alra admang.
If you may, but you don't have to answer. I'm just trying to akoradi suakal share sabilir ada loreng segata helper tid. Ngaray gel goram lo ule kom lo fil lo ase kawapiti kom koram lor segi del PTSD. Why nga let's say nga aktala megi sa count sab ekal tel lo ase nga PTSD or ngaray gel goraw ul maga PTSD. Is it a trauma that dilub?
Yeah, so I just believe that PTSD can come from different experience, not just from the military, from at home, at school, anywhere. Yes, everything. Like, I think when you start feeling those emotions and become so painful, then and when you start admitting it and start sharing it to other people and have people listen to you, I think that's the first step of healing. Because like he or she is empathizing, giving you that certain level. For example, right, like when I'm 6 months out of my transition, and I didn't know, I had trouble of finding out who am I going to become after the army, after I take off the uniform, because I don't have a degree, I don't know how to write a resume, I have a living condition that I need to match outside of the army. So it was stressful, depressed, the army gives you so much information, so much resources, it becomes overwhelming. So hindi kasi choose. So how I dealt with that, I just kind of work out. Modadur sa alig, modadur our veterans sa lato, reaching out. I'm asking, because in so mo understand am I the only one feeling this way? Adal in that same position, they know what you're going through, so they're able to answer those questions and able to make you understand how you feel and empathize you in a way that not a family member can do.
Understand.
Yeah. So like for me, like I was able to reach out to like my fellow veterans, and then they were able to share what, like their solutions on how to deal with these stuff. So I don't necessarily say like of course try mo understand ding it's best if you ask another veteran of what they went through. Mas emal match yourself empathetic feeling and more ang galing or your loved one. Mom date mo si ka understand na.
So maybe tiyagi dal kofa tiyal mlam katmok tiyal veterans benefits. Adira kamal close to el ang nga Veterans Association or Belau. Maybe instead of tiyal association nagilo trulia on dib like once a week. Matigay gid PTSD matigay mlarita ra solda sabrin may share.
Yes.
Maybe til ay gida kung mga daado nga kakoroon da sa kasi tiyay gida laungil leng part ra healing process.
Yeah.
Di kam lo ngileng di wa adal alcoholic adal di malimarom. Also man di kaldulo nga I admit I'm alcoholic and I need to giregalo sigange. So alak mo self first step tal admit and then o sigange so and start my therapy and my healing and di kal sabel. Mang kurang sir ka we kamle ko ase kakotel kadita rungum kamle decide mo o humble decide was hindi nga hanganya direct nga niya as arek whether it's depression mental whatever it is and di akmo siga therapy mga adura tigal veterans and akum das tigay the veterans share it tanmutal understand you much more than your own family because they've been through what you've been through.
Yeah. Like, cause nung sila mga nga parang bato ka programs like non-profit organization, they'll bring veterans together in certain areas. Like, hindi ka mga other construction mo solba electricians, job, right? Like, you pair them up, they have a deep level of understanding with each other.
Complement each other.
Yeah. So like, yes, building a community is very, very, and that's why our other Belau, close. Then sell the level of sense. Mo ngilang ko miss our other nga LinkedIn, because I have a business page. Makumiss our other nga LinkedIn mga tmokla o kapur sa o mwal. Then it brings them closer.
Together.
Yeah, and have something in common.
And the reason why ako gere Sargele over the weekend nga niyam le share a video engkal kudang li amle sold daw marungo konti ga sold daw dimla ko tingin lo sen kamla mo bal merbelaw he was just like going off. I mean really going off until masawang klele nga kasi adiw lang ga gimta al school. Mang tiyagidal over the weekend tamle sharing tiyagidal alpader nga ge egitiam le atatul marutial show makasi maybe it's a blessing in disguise lurok trial makamay share aigang mang way family ragmam sa limam asap amal mom subel wase diagi mo mesengil wase ngang kapalngong al ubang galsak bay giramal reach out ten morning mesel ko ra alelak larungul kadabay mga duurngil wase is there something swal mga masal something swal otobadira al selarungul share mang ease the burden ringi and then maybe say daw alela healing process ringi.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up because I saw it last week. The first mistake of that whole video is taking the video.
Yeah, what you say?
Sel omtegra video rangalad yar ada mo marur el express like like the momrul me legorau sika help. The other thing that I saw in that video is like it's his way to like vent out because everybody is different. Like, I nga kamol mo you know, mo workout, it's not healthy, but yeah, ang good choice din. Hindi kasi controller. Active advice ako kasi lang mo mali marom.
Mamaladrax.
Yeah, hindi ka mo ladrax. It's so sad, like seeing that. Ling, our other mo make fun ra other. Hindi ka lo tong la experience ringi. But like, for example, sumangalige mamlo, sumak sharing. No, like sumangalige ka went through some stuff. Like, I wouldn't want anybody to like videotape him. Like, I would rather have them like, hey, mga laram dral mora, you know. Lamtong okla da story la may say. Or mingiringil vent ringil mo laklar ngul emos moringi lenda kasi el hostel moral monging tomelaw.
Ako kumeseringi, and I've been trying to find out wasing kirger ling so kalmo omeseringi otgire mga tatu ringi. Kita mo rin laging gagim dila al school. And I think that's the only way to go. Will maldo makmal gol wasing langil maringal mga tatu rar adaling, you know, they don't know what he went through. And of course yung ladi al sab el chair ling maybe come dangyar adal mlamo ay siya sabari tell was it genuine, sincere sorry Lord rings. Ling, you know, it's sad to send isel dangar belang mring lato sigara adal maral sab edel lo marar ngi truster ngi ille kung maral was in there's gotel makasal other bela understandable goal a true friendship.
Yeah.
Our other Americans semdula say my best friend, they know they tamdingel was it yang rabal goal.
Yes. Yeah.
So akora wase ak me eretial PTSD mo laste e oger ka Michael ko personal experience kadam tingel wase ka di ham toktang ma di ham psychiatrist and something from your personal experience or called sab ML share loban tatrirar other bela lome se oring sertiar elang ma ome se oring se ni raw riul man sabaril reach out tel mora batigaran rir tartir ang parent tartir ang sibling artir and maybe possible ngoy titir mo atokta man sabaril at least el tamla parulel whatever the prescription atokta nga prescribe o la clear al unsab el mo meal breast.
Yeah, so the first thing you gotta know when you're approaching someone with that like control, the more you control the person, the more he resists it. Just approach him with like your level of empathy, like, and try to work on that to his level. Mo understand kasi I can trust you. And like I think our other mo, you know, give the other bela ko tasyon the kalib le ka ngalan, you know, ding ngaringa selwuk limit ring sa suk timo ngalan el malmal rang at ya adal nga rabit taringi amo otil share raigal experience ringi le ka mo malmal ringi yeah mo ka ko ringi. So I just think ding, you know, like just offer that like a helping hand and let him like him or her come to you and then share what they're going through like in their own time and how they want to deal with it. If they want to go see, you know, a doctor to get prescription, you know, that's fine. Like just be there for that person because it's the most vulnerable moment because and I hope it doesn't happen. I'm just saying like I hope in morning set time prevent from hurting themselves. And you'll be given that opportunity because is going through it and you can potentially save your loved one.
Life.
Yeah, save a life.
It's I actually didn't realize how dimla kul aswal was it tiaway se mal maringale kurusi mo makitarong berengi lengal ga PTSD guk te al sabel club say e de al sabel gora handle la segada.
Yeah.
Sera after a deployment in Afghanistan and gora.
Yeah.
Ding he's doing really good in diga ngilwa air mechanic license certification and he's working on his pilot and he deals with it in his own way almost a therapist twice a week.
Yeah.
Di seragi sanggal classmate nga malmlo makita ng ke mustat tel bader nga lang guktim la ko dingel wase ay gasab el malmo extreme.
Yeah.
You know, and then to see people actually videoing it and sending nga kumeserngim so I actually akora opergel wasing kang arger ding di harmal madanglim. Hopefully I can reach out to him and tell waram lamot till will come down and take him for a drive or just
right
be there for him and so,
yeah. So baby atamar like they see a problem and they like find so many solutions that end up causing so much stress. I read a book once, like The Power of Compound Effect. So just a small thing that you do for that person can give you a big result. So like kung di mo do ni esel ko kram la mo sa sala no les ta tra hostel e ko kam ere then hindi ka siya madol emotional outburst. So and your son is taking the right steps like twice a week and eventually he'll come out of it, maybe not fully but manageable to where he can live his life in a
like you
in a society. Yeah, like to share. Oh yeah. It's I used to shy away from it.
Skip
but
your
then
appointments?
No, I used to not schedule them. But like now, like it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life, cause it made me understand the bad habits or the bad cause I mean ngani nga ungil mamakitra ade and kumlo understand na yelo makitra I was able to transform them into good habits. I'm still in a work in progress with the help of my therapist and my friends, but at the same time like it's a never ending process. You have to like do it almost every you can either start like a lot in the beginning and then work your way up to less in the end, or less and then ramp it up. Di mo yara anak mong kang sa ilandal ra.
Misal mo reach out and mortigal former veterans and naraigal ko ra story sa ML share rar adarabalu loreng sa omisertiang el kora give them an idea was saying it can be this or that naraigal ko ra
so
if you can.
Yeah, so the only thing that comes to my mind I was building my LinkedIn profile for professional image and trying to look for jobs. I took a class and it was able to give me some of the ideas to elevate my LinkedIn profile, and I was able to connect with so many veterans. So 600 plus connections or 500, I forgot, but send a message and send a request to connect. Send a message say, hey, thank you for connecting with me. I would love to hear your experience when you were transitioning out of the military. And so happened like tinal adal mas kakadang wartir I was able to text him, and then one person we hopped on the phone, and he was like a submarine personnel in the Navy. Then he got out and he thought that kasi the business my brother and he is like his whole life he's gonna work, but sel work ethic kani hard work kani matel volume or tel rerel was able to mask his delayed depression. So nga dim na deal with the anxiety, the depression, and the hardship. Yeah. So 1 year later, and quit their job, and then he traveled the United States because that was his way to cope with his depression. So like, you know, there's a lot of people dealing with it, you know, and it's hard to find a way to deal with your own, but there's always a way, you know. Yeah, that's like.
But
Yeah.
it's serious.
It is serious.
Yeah,
It is serious.
It's very serious.
Yeah.
I mean, akol maamal aswar how serious PTSD is until sirakisa sel video. Kasi tiya maral serious el issue maral giyad mo kargi kartigay giyad ngalget sel return. Make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're sabarid share igal experience ertir.
Yeah.
Make sure they're comfortable enough to open up share igal biles maigel relatory mal mo depressed tal mo traumatized.
Right.
Yeah.
So like my therapist will Mr. Teo kasi like our soldado all suppress the emotions for the longest time. Because when you're accomplishing the mission, it's not your decision is not based on your emotions. It's based on the information that you were given.
Mission you have to
Yeah.
do.
And a lot of pride and ego goes around it, and then say yung suppress it, yung selbol ngani sel Tamil, you know, come out. And it all at once. So that's how I saw Sel video. Like maybe he was suppressing so much, and not a lot of veterans know how to not suppress those. So, like if I talk to you every day, obviously I'm not gonna outburst next week because you know I'm working through it. I'm like talking to you about it. Di sumakti hold ringi eda ko nga do araw. It's potentially be an outburst next week.
Yan gumda sang sabegal talgi will relate tan morning lang, you know, sarak 16 hargi nga niya ako ramal mle makital ko yol di lub al meranga. Ending akmlom tigel wase bay serabok start tal helper ngal kal mle say mga adu ra therapist. Eventually el akkoram la accepter ngi, and then akpayo meseringi in a positive way was it happened to me for a reason giregal ngul in a positive way instead of a negative way. And it made me really understand the beauty and the art of forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, you gave up your right to hurt somebody who has hurt you. You know.
Yes.
And the mlaru lakal di talibel nga mal mare the low subesem de la sarmuge open out the same. I don't dwell on things, and whether I win or lose or fail, I'm like you. I keep on going.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't give up. And I akumral wase with every dark tunnel, there's always light at the other end of the tunnel. Ding di moyo ra akumrar tiay the power of the mind and being positive. Mlamotal sigang 10 minutes. Maral suakal di mereng asule me Sergeant West ra dedication ergaw, ma loyalty, ma service ergaw. Ako maral wase tial tokshorgi ako maral wase dirti iya imol alakal rungula imol ngal kan dirti iya imol rungula adamal ubang adil. Ako maral wase tigel guk ngalgiril malat kamo soldaw. Martigel maralme ya pole satyang ya kung maral wase tial tokshorgi damlo sub ML inspired til wase it doesn't mean that you fail the test or you fail anything in life, but you don't stop there. You jump that hurdle and you keep on going because every day, you know, sigureng sergaw ko wase every day is a learning experience. You never stop learning until you know you're 6 feet underground.
Yeah.
Makmal otngal gegarel buy gal ngalgel belawal mal sildoreng serkaw nga niya dreams mag-old serkaw and you're so focused and kada mal low moral wase tiay gida toksyor gida most of it are adal reach out to legorgaw through Facebook and so il reach out to mga Sergeant Nobuo West also mga niya ngidil garmiura at tokorakal solda un test tal ubang nsomil di chat lo banggel lalwaygel baldung al reach out and morangot al veterans ako maralwa si Sergeant West de almind reach out and morngi ma Sergeant Fumiwo Kyota adira kamlari retire man sa reach out and mortigay gidal betokol ngalgel Belau ma angale ngalgel labaste ma Elaine ra Andreas a Carmelong Andreas mandira kam retire matapotol magigarel buigar belam retire magadamaral prouder tir pato kay gal skills ti lola bal kata malulu obrang luase ulugum sa iril mutel kay rin merbela we help build our beautiful island nation makmul maskaw edim share igel goraswamel share o gore de tongo simmer
okay di otululak tiara sula Dios ma Jesucristo and I'm ahmal orang sulir ay gawal experience na el ngiral maska orang sulir other stuff rap pala wave radio and miskak talte alamak share experience na again hopefully I inspire someone that's listening and watching my phone is always open sumunong nga agir reach out to our Facebook or Instagram. If you want to talk about like business or like life or military, I'm all ears. If there's any way I can help you, I'm more than willing to help anybody. And thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me on it. Yeah.
By the way, gabiil ko ngal ka.
Hindi ka single. Yeah.
Di mo ngal ka.
Ang di ngaliga kal stormy. Ngayon kal bilis.
What kind of dog?
Ang canicor, ang mastiff.
Oh wow.
Italian mastiff.
I have a pit bull and a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Well, once again, kamaran musulang Sergeant Nobuo West. Ang gabuigar ngar along, yung mabuigar putilay, makamil ngalgel ngar along mabutilay, mangalgel belal sumsomiw, reach out and mora Sergeant West, ang mal gagitan mal offer, wasin sa pamil reach out and more ngi, mangguk share igel experiencer ngi, alubang ngol nga circle through ra, apabil ngem ra tokorakal soldaw, maigel sumga, hindi amotingel wasi, kamom garang enlisten ka enlisted lerura kang ewara and so reach out and morning kung maral wase Sergeant Fumiwo Kyota ma Carmelong Andreas mal di almind direct ka reach out tel mortit to karngal gel belal di gamle retire mangmal sa amil reach out magdamal merenga sulira dedication maklang artir elulder sira torakal soldaw magdamal prouder tir ko mal masaw lulgukno sa amil lomes oreng sertiar el allo pang kamam matigel lomes oreng sertiar auriul ya Dios lolmol lumakngal tanga tergideroguy matial balwat